Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From the beautiful Bally Sportsbook in downtown Baton Rouge, welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Crowd already assembling down here. We're tipping the NCAA Tournament here in about 15 minutes with TCU and Ohio State. First of 16 games today. Wall-to-wall hoops today, tomorrow. And, of course, you'll get it all the way through the weekend as we just enjoy college basketball, man. If you only watch during the tournament, okay. We've had a lot of cool stuff to watch this year. But these days, for a lot of people, like a holiday, Jimmy.
God bless America, Charlie.
Isn't it, though?
So I've been in Europe twice during this thing, one with you and one actually last year for the Final Four. And I'll just say, God bless America. Got to be in the homeland for this one, baby. Yes, indeed. We got it all set up for you, my man Brandon over here. We got the 6-screen set up. CBS, got the volume on CBS. That's the first tip at 11:15. We got True TV, TNT, and TBS. And then the other one, we got the Golf Channel and then ESPN. So these four will stay on those channels till midnight on Sunday. And so you will not miss a dribble. You will not miss a dribble. There's no reason to fall. I've had some good students over here for the TV.
Professor Ott.
Yes. It's only complicated if you make it complicated.
Right.
So we got it. But we got it straight, man. Armando's doing a good job over here. He's very happy about the Papa Shot thing.
We got to tell people about the Papa Shot thing.
You got to do a parlay or a straight bet with every $20 parlay and every $40 straight bet. Make sure you do them at the window here. You get an entry into the Papa Shot, and then they'll do the drawings this Saturday, next Saturday, and then Final Four Saturday. And so
giving away a lot of free play.
A lot of 25,000 total.
25,000, yeah.
25,000 total. So we got it all for you. But and then when you get to the Papa Shot, Charlie, you can and the maximum possible free play you can get is 1,000.
Okay.
That's the limit. That's okay.
I'll take 1,000.
I'll take a piece right now. So having some fun with it, and for people that come in, plenty of seating available. The video poker bar here has plenty of seating. It's in view of all the screens. You got plenty of tables. You want to go to Dining Depot and get a wood burning stove pizza or some oysters, or you can go to the Terrace Cafe and get a po' boy or something. Bring it over here and watch the game. So we're hunkering down. We got rooms over here for the weekend. We're going to be staycationing, and no Europe today, Charlie. No Europe. Europe's a great place, especially the French Riviera coast. That's really nice. The Italian coast, the Spanish, but this is where I want to be.
Fantastic sight lines for all of these TVs. The big oval bar.
Yeah, these are raised screens.
Yeah.
So, if people can walk all in front of you. It's not going to obstruct your view.
Double windows and a dozen kiosks, so you're never waiting in line to make a bet. If you're one of these people like my friend Johnny who wants to wait until 30 seconds to tip to make his bet, you're not going to have to wait in line. Okay, you'll be able to get in there and get your wagers down. All of the promotions that Jimmy just told you about as part of it. We really enjoy our time here at Bally's, and we hope you can make it in your plans to come on down and see us. We are on YouTube today without video, obviously, because we're on the casino floor, but our audio is up on YouTube, and the chat's available for you guys that want to talk about these games that are coming up. So that kind of sets the stage for us here with the field of 64. Jimmy, it got to 64 after the second game last night, and I thought this year we probably had the least amount of controversy with the field after the bracket was announced
Yeah,
on Sunday.
the bubble teams.
The bubble was soft.
Worse than ever.
Yeah.
Worse than ever.
The one controversial, if you want to call it that, team that got in was Miami of Ohio.
I think controversial is a very bad term. I'd say most discussed.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man. They went undefeated.
We thought that they should be in the tournament, and they were. They were undefeated in the MAC. That had never happened before. They were undefeated on the regular season. They had a soft schedule. Nobody's gonna argue that. They lost in their tournament, and watching them play SMU last night. And SMU, like NC State, we talked about earlier in the week, was fading down the stretch. Nevertheless, this is a power team that got in as an at-large, and Miami of Ohio flat out worked them last night. Jimmy, they played a beautiful basketball game, especially on the offensive end. They didn't quite lead gate to wire, but they led for the vast majority of this game. They played their game 5 out. They shot nearly 40% from three-point range, 20 assists, and 4 turnovers. I mean, that is a stat that any basketball coach will gladly embrace. The bigger Mustangs didn't out-rebound Miami of Ohio, and obviously they fed off of the crowd. The campus from the arena in Dayton is less than an hour drive, about 40 miles, and they fed off of that. They obviously played with a little chip on their shoulder, and I'm going to ask you this. I don't have a strong opinion, but I think it's interesting to think about. If they win their conference, they win the MAC tournament, and they wouldn't have played in this play-in game, they would have played another game today. Do they play with this level of efficiency that they did last night? Because they obviously played with a chip on their shoulder. I think the rest did them good. They had some tough games down the stretch, and I think they had a few days to regroup. Us against the world, faced a little adversity, had the relief of getting in a tournament because it wasn't a sure thing. We thought they should be in, but it wasn't a sure thing. And then they played that game last night, which was, I thought, I'm going to say, beautiful basketball to watch.
Coach is a little much, but
I'm not wild about him.
Okay,
no.
but that was a well-coached team last night.
Yes.
And the thing is that this is how they play. I mean, they jack it up, and even the kid going to halftime, look, all 5 of us can shoot. I mean, but I mean, the spacing, the ball movement, it's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about any team in here, that's as good as it gets. The spacing, so the basketball IQ and the skill, I mean, is off the charts. No way to prove it. The biggest impression I got is this team was carrying a heavy load on their shoulders for a good month or so with that undefeated record.
Yeah.
This was not the same team that struggled against Toledo. This is not the same team that needed a three-pointer at the buzzer to send it in overtime to beat Buffalo. This is not the same team that lost to UMass. Not the same team that broke that winning streak at Ohio on that Friday night, which I watched the entire game. This was so much. So I think it's both. I think it's a little bit more because it's been a good 6 weeks. There's 3, undefeated teams left. And this is the first time they get that love. And then there were 2, and then they were them, and then they were talking about it, and then Bruce Pearl did his fair share to just, throw gasoline on the fire. And I think they definitely had a chip on their shoulder, but they were also they were way better than what we've seen in the last month.
Yeah.
So much better.
I think the loss helped them, as strange as that is to sound. It took some of the pressure off once they got in now. Once they got in, they played the chip on the shoulder. They got a little bit of rest.
They did.
They were at home.
I put a little bit more emphasis on that. That I've heard coaches talk about how, okay, now you got that loss. Well, an Arizona loss.
Yeah.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
Their number 1 seed is not
right.
great. Let's get that out the way.
Yeah.
Let's get that out the way. And so I'm just taking, guys that have been there in their opinion of it. And so how much is it that they had the chip on their shoulder? how much a little extra rest because they were knocked out in the quarterfinal was last week right here. We watched it. It was an 11 o'clock game on a Thursday. How much, and I still think they would have been rested and ready to go. But I think it's more of the so much discussed. Like, really? We went undefeated, which has never been done in that conference.
Yeah.
Never, ever, 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 ever been done in that conference. I don't care how weak it is. And it's 11 versus 11. But that's a mid-major versus ACC. That's a mid-major versus, SMU, do they have money? Andy Enfield, he had a pretty decent, pretty good situation in USC. He left, like a lot of other companies, leaving California to go to Texas, but he left. I mean, SMU is one of the halves, okay, in college athletics. This was a little bit of Cinderella. This is a win because that was no gimmick. There was so much the best. So much the best. They dictated the tempo, and they're going to play their tempo. But it's so much harder to speed teams up in the tournament than it is to slow it down. That's regularly speaking, but the timeouts are longer. Everything is just choppier. And so you have less flow from commercial break, from one 4-minute segment to the next. I was very, very impressed, like a lot of people, and we'll see if it plays out. But that's a little nugget for Cinderella last night. That's a mid-major being an ACC, and it won the fluke. I mean, that did the mid-major look like a better team than we expected?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay,
absolutely.
I mean, this is harder. This is, they actually, we talk about it. What mid-major player all conference is saying? They kept theirs. They had won, and he stayed at Miami, Ohio.
And it worked out well for him. Dayton does a great job with this first four, okay? If it's 4 teams,
it's not going anywhere.
No, that is one of those things like Omaha's married to the College World Series.
I was about to say the same thing.
But the fact that this team is right down the road, I mean, this is one of the images that we'll remember when the tournament is done. It's like, hey, remember when we started and the swim team was running behind the
Well,
the
you should know because you had Hanson, you were on the swimming and diving team.
Yes, I was.
But
I was an elite diver.
You're a little bit better shape back then, but yes, how about that?
I mean,
yes,
but
this is college. This is college sports. This is March Madness, and you know what? Yeah, we're excited as heck to be here. So you can use that chip on your shoulder and pout some, or you can. Oh wait. And it was almost a settlement, wasn't it? About the pros and cons of Miami, Ohio. Oh, we're putting them in, but we're going to put them here.
There. Yeah, we're going to make you play this game.
And listen, every mid-major has some strong. You can play whoever you want at their place. Don't give me that you can't play. You can't schedule. I don't want to hear that. And I'm not a fan of the coach, but I do respect. That team was well coached last night.
We're not a fan of his attitude, but his, as a coach, I mean,
he's got a lot. Charlie, there's some coaches. Their team will never be flipping off the opposing fans. Never, ever, ever, ever.
But that's what I mean by attitude, and that goes over to you.
His crying about no major team wanted to schedule me. No, that's BS.
Right.
That's total.
And you can turn
crap.
it against your team, the way Vitello did with the baseball team at Tennessee. He's gone now. Kid slams the bat down last week. They get robbed. Everybody's like, screw you, Tennessee, because you guys act like a bunch of jerks. The coach's attitude is a turnoff.
And it's more to the media. It's not like, we would get offended sometimes with ULL coming down here in baseball and having that chip on and playing and almost a little bit pushing the envelope on some things, a lot of things. We would get pissed off at Gillespie in trying to manipulate, and the rules and have these little stoppages and stuff. But those are sort of you're trying to give your underdog team an edge. This guy, it's not that. It's about the media relation stuff and stuff, but. Since BYU, because they've slowed down their ball movement, but their ball movement was unbelievable, their spacing. I haven't seen that in college since those teams. DeBonce's going to slow the ball down. You got a guy like DeBonce, you're going to ISO him, some. So the ball movement has slowed down. But that is, as we talk about spacing a lot, that's a clinic. That was a clinic last night.
And you got to knock the shots down. The spacing.
Oh, they have to do that. But Charlie, how many?
20 assists.
How many were wide open?
A lot. 20 assists and 4 turnovers, man. I mean, that is a phenomenal
Did
stat.
they ever rush a shot with a guy in their face?
I didn't see one.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just,
29 made baskets and 20 assists. That's good. That's just good stuff, man.
And it's how you – now we'll give him credit on this. That's the way to coach when you're not going to have the athletes. We not have above-the-rim players. You're not going to have size, strength, and quickness, okay? If basketball is still – if you're really well coached and now with the three-point line, man, every kid in middle school is jacking up threes, okay? Yeah. So everybody has been brought up. So if you work on it too, but that's how you can get a team. And guess what? They're going to give Tennessee all they can handle because Tennessee's defense last year, the year before, the last 5 years, that would have been fun because they might shut them down. They might make it really tough. This Tennessee team does not defend. They're going to score against Tennessee.
I mean, it could get 30 and Tennessee could lose. That could happen in that game.
We're live over here at the brand new Bally's Casino, the DraftKings Sportsbook. It is our home today, tomorrow, and all through the weekend over here. They are getting ready to tip it off right now. Ohio State and TCU. We're on TCU, and that one, I think Randy gave us did he have TCU also? No, he did not.
Louisville in the first block.
Wes had TCU, so we're on TCU early on. We come back, let's handicap a little bit some of these early games. We're live here at Bally's Casino, downtown at the Atrium, plenty of parking. So if you park on the bridge side in that garage, the entrance is right into the sportsbook, so you can come by and see us.
The ball is tipped. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank.
With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Bally's live at lunch. TCU with a 1-point lead here in the first 4 minutes, 6-5 over Ohio State. Jimmy, let's do this for those that hadn't been maybe paying attention to. You have been steadfast for a while on the first round of the tournament, especially the early games, the first half unders. Because of the jitters and the news, the tight rims, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you've been saying this week, the sports books have ratcheted these lines down. It's not just a blanket blind bet the way it once was.
2 years ago was still profitable, but not as much. And then last year it was basically juicing out. So and look, Charlie, there was some that came down and actually fell on our side to go under that. You're dealing with like this one's 65.5. You saw some 63.5s. I've seen some first half lines get into the high 50s. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you can have all the jitters, you can have everything I said. You still need a lot of misses, man, to do that. So it's a Super Bowl angle, no score in the first 5 minutes. Where you can feeling each other out. We're not going to turn the ball over and just kind of, go for broke early. So a heavyweight fight, whatever it is, it's just the big stage, kind of easing into it a little bit. And, well, I mean, we'll see. But this one might go under. It's a long way, but it's fun. I mean, if you put a small token on it, because the race to 10, the race to 15. There's a lot of these, the first half lines. There's a lot of different ways besides just, the side in total for the entire game. And the DraftKings menu is unbelievable. Here in the Queen, Johnny Avello was on with Matt yesterday, and it was a big deal when, DraftKings scooped him up for the win. And we're like, wait, you going to mobile? Wait, what? It was a big deal, and they pride themselves on having really, really big menu.
The 4 games in the early block, and they're staggered. Troy and
get out of there, baby.
Troy, Nebraska at 11:40. South Florida and Louisville at 12:30.
So Troy,
and
Nebraska.
High Point, Wisconsin.
The
at
obvious
12:50.
with Troy, Nebraska. Okay, Troy is back-to-back here. Okay, so they're a mid-major that won their regular season, won their conference tournament last year. So they were, not one of these 6 or 7 seeds of your conference that get in. They did not fare well last year. They've lost 4 of their 5 starters to the transfer portal. They went on because they won their conference. They did return 1. The other 4 starters were all on the team last year. So all guys that were on the 2 deeps that improved and increased on their role, and here they are again. They won the regular season, and they won their conference tournament. So back-to-back. And the biggest is Nebraska. I mean, a Big 8, then Big 12, now Big 10 team has never won a tournament game. So Freddie Hoiberg's team, they maxed out earlier. And the one thing about them, Charlie, is they win the top 10 a lot this year, to very deep. Maybe even last week, they were still in the top 10. And they went to Michigan down, a couple of players and almost beat them at their place. they have kind of tailed off. They got housed against Purdue. They got housed the last week of the season against UCLA. I mean, they have kind of come back to reality a little bit or hit a little bit of a speed bump. But you watch them play. They're extremely well coached. But I don't know, just did they peak at the wrong time? That's obvious, but there's no rhyme or reason once they get to the tournament, you know, being on a roll. Have you won your I've seen teams win their conference tournament that keep going. I've seen teams win a conference tournament look dead the next, the first game of the tournament. So no real rhyme or reason. So a real mystery. Are they going to be closer to midseason form or the last couple of weeks?
And their best form is good enough to beat just about anybody. They're still a top 15 net team. I know we kind of quit looking at that stuff once the tournament starts. But 9 Q1 wins puts you in the top 10. So they have beaten some good teams. Not recently, like you said, but they have beaten some good teams. So the possibilities
at Illinois, and look, the loss to Michigan there when they were undermanned was very. I mean, we talked about it. I was like, man, that was an impressive loss. But no, they have just gotten housed a few times. And the one that doesn't, the odds makers in Ken Palm have been slow to warm up. Why? Because the odds makers lean on Ken Palm as a starting point, and Ken Palm has a little bit of a traditional bias. They have no tradition. So, I mean, are they? I mean, what team do we see? I don't know, but I do know that I think Troy is going to be competitive. I think that program, that team, they went through it last year. You got to play on the big stage before you can perform well on the big stage, and I think maybe that's going to have a factor today.
Nebraska, 13.5-point favorite. One of Randy McKay's play yesterday was Troy in the first half.
The following win is a huge public dog. Huge public dog. We talk about Mikael Brown. He's out for the entire weekend. This weekend for Louisville, he's a number one scorer. South Florida, champion of a really bad conference. I mean, atrocious conference. But they do have a little. They have a little length. They have a little athleticism. The eyeball test when you see him play today, you're not going to say Louisville just completely outplays him. But everybody, pros, Joes, everybody is on South Florida. 2/3 of the tickets. This is high volume, man, today. And 2/3 of the tickets, that's a big number, a big percentage for people betting a spread and taking the points in South Florida.
Not us.
No. I like to fade the public, and I think this is one where you're getting a real short number. Randy McKay, it was part of his crew that went to Las Vegas and that went down, that Derek Stevens of Circa is talking about how, man, the action we get in here, the respected action is laying these big numbers. Well, that was one of the numbers they laid, but it wasn't one of those big numbers. Like they had Illinois minus 22.5, Houston minus 23, UConn minus 20.5. But two short numbers against public dogs, Louisville against South Florida, and Kentucky against Santa Clara. Herb Sendek, who has won a tournament game at another mid-major, Miami, Ohio, of all places. He's been at Santa Clara for a while, and Kentucky, we know they haven't been as strong, but Randy, and it's easy to remember, the two big boys in the state of Kentucky, they're on today.
The Cinderellas, typical Cinderellas. And High Point, Wisconsin, last game in the first block.
High scoring. High Point has scored more points than anybody in college basketball this year. They haven't averaged the most, but they've scored the most. They run like crazy, but it's a very weak conference, and Wisconsin is highly respected. And, I mean, Charlie, they tried to flip their style of play in football, and it was a little bit, man, they have done it. And it's the same coach, too, and Greg Gard. I mean, same stuff that Dick Bennett was running and Bo Ryan. But, man, they do it really well, and they've won some big games at Illinois, at Michigan. I'm missing another one.
At Purdue, they scored 97 points at Mackey.
So they are one of the most high-scoring teams, one of the highest pace. That is going to be a track meet. I know it's a high number, but that's one I like the over today. It's in the low 180s right now. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get when you use our long-standing team. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. They're an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummings generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20.
I bet over 15.5 wins for the Big Ten overall.
For any use, custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiel and Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
There's more than one way to listen to ESPN Baton Rouge on the radio at 104.5 and 104.9 and 98.1 HD2. Online at 1045ESPN.com and with the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford.
The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at the Bally Sportsbook, downtown Baton Rouge. March Madness is underway here. TCU a 1-point lead, just a little over halfway through a little under halfway through the first half. We go out to Las Vegas. Kaluch, there's a lot of sports fans that think that these 2 days or these 4 days are the best sports days of the year. How do you feel about that?
Charlie, I mean, it's a great couple of days, and 4 days, actually. It's great for business and handle. I definitely prefer the Super Bowl and the excitement of all the prop bets. But definitely this is the second biggest event, I would say, in Las Vegas, second only to the Super Bowl. But the opening round, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we garner some of our largest handle at the resort at Summerlin, and now with the Caesars affiliation, just a plethora of prop bets and different angles that you could definitely handicap. And like you said, we're off and running. We got the TCU game all fired up. Definitely took a little action. I was here on the underdog the way I would see. We opened the game at 2.5 at Caesars Sports and the resort at Summerlin. That adapted to definitely one of the closer games in my opinion.
Kaluch, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing well, Mr. Ott. Definitely doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good too. So that's the transition, from going from the traditional sportsbook and, with Chris and Vinny and the whole crew and to the transition to the bigger menu in Caesars. What specific props are you seeing that come across your window that some of the wagers? Is it the race to 10, race to 15, first half totals? What any specific ones, or it's just all over the board?
No, it's just all over the board, Jimmy. I mean, what you cater to with Caesar Sports, you get a lot more of the regular consumers as opposed to the sharps. Sharps try to get down very early on those first to score 15, but they're mostly side and total orientated when it comes to this, tournament itself. So, it's definitely a widespread landscape when you're dealing with propositions. Plus, the mobile application business is huge. Our mobile application business, it far succeeds at times to counter business just because we had that 350 sign-up bonus, which we still have going on, the best deal in Las Vegas by far, where, we match up to 350 in play. So we signed, hundreds and hundreds of customers up, and we're only affiliated with Caesars for a month and a half. So, definitely it's more of a mobile landscape as well as kiosks. We have 20 kiosks on property now. You're going to see the act when it comes to the propositions, first half wagers, first to score 10, 15, first to score. You're definitely going to see a ton of those propositions along with your wise guy consumers that are definitely looking to take advantage of some of those opening lines if you make a mistake. So, very interesting. It's very similar to the Super Bowl in that you have so many betting options, just like the propositions, that you have to keep an eye on it. And we have an excellent risk room at the Caesars here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Kaluch, last night, did they bet on Cinderella, Miami, Ohio? I don't know if you saw Charlie's swim and dive team there yesterday.
You put the skull caps on and you walk behind the.
He was at Hanson High. He was a 10-millimeter board. I mean, a 10-meter board guy. So anyway, did they bet Miami, Ohio last night in a little money line as well?
No, actually, they were betting the favorite. You
Okay.
saw all the money move on the line there, and a lot of people weren't buying into Miami, but a lot of the sharps, gave them out on different. Whether it was publications or radio shows or streaming, there were a lot of the sharper guys that were taking the points there, but it seemed like the general public felt that Miami was going to lose again. They're losing that conference tournament game. So, credit to that team. They only had one loss in the season, so they have to lose.
Charlie, you think last...
good story, and you did have some consumers take advantage of money line, but most were betting favored by shops.
Charlie, you think last night's result gives people a little bit more confidence in playing the dogs today?
Absolutely. People, they want to.
Yes,
okay?
yes, I know.
And if you just do this once a year, you probably haven't paid as close attention to the trends of the last 2 years as you have. The numbers we've been giving out this week. It's just give me teams that I've never heard of that are going to beat the big guy. That's what people want to do today. Yeah, I think it gives them some confidence.
Paluch, obvious, they had a chip on their shoulder, and also they had a little burden. That was a different team that we've seen play the last month or so when they were trying to finish the season undefeated. We've heard some coaches talk about kind of carries a little bit more weight on your shoulders, trying to stay undefeated. That was a team that was fresh, and, man, they executed at a high level. That was no fluke last night. The better team won. All right, so what are you seeing? Are you seeing them bet so far today, the underdogs or the favorites?
Yeah, definitely. What we're seeing, here's a big game, South Florida, definitely. I mean, we opened this game at 6 at Caesars Sports, and now we're just seeing, 2.5. So it's amazing. That game is all over the place. That's one of the games that they're definitely taking advantage of. Also, Michigan State, they're pumped up now to 16 here at Caesars Sports and the Resort at Summerlin from a 14-point opener. So we're seeing some action on that game as well. Other games, they're moving half a point, definitely back and forth. But those were two of the games that I'm seeing massive attention on right now. Also, we opened Gonzaga naturally 18.5. They're bet up to 20.5. I'm seeing a ton of action across the board on them as well. So, definitely a lot of teams that are under focus. Yeah, Gonzaga, yes. They opened at 18.5 at Caesars Sports and now 20.5. So definitely a major attraction. As well, they're loving the favorites. Opened at 22, now sitting at 23.5. So those are some of the games that we're seeing a lot of action on, both at the mobile and across the counter.
Gotcha. Do y'all have any liability as far as the national champion? Who are y'all? Who can y'all least afford to win it all?
Well, Duke and Arizona were very popular at the betting windows, and they remain very popular. They're definitely the teams that people keep an eye on. Michigan and Houston were popular earlier in the season. They've come back to the pack a little now. Gonzaga also merits a lot of attention, that. But, I took a flyer on my St. John's Red Storm. I think they definitely have a chance. Ranked 5, I was kind of disappointed after beating UConn twice. We did see a little action on them to win the national title after they won that big tournament. But, I was surprised that UConn got a 2 and Johnny got a 3,
well,
5.
At least they kept them close to home, huh? The 5 seed.
It's funny. It's unbelievable how the travel comes into play. And, you're talking about 6,000 miles, guys. They might as well just hit the racetrack for a little simulcasting at Del Mar and then go to the game tonight.
Yeah. Where are they staying at? LeBairs? They're staying at the LeBairs Hotel downtown Del Mar, huh?
And UConn gets told to go to Philly. You believe that? I mean, it's just, I don't know what these people are thinking at times. It cracks me up.
Have a little breakfast. I mean, you can go do your warm-ups at the dog park. I mean, yeah, man, come on. Have your team dinner at the Monarch, open air overlooking the water. Sure.
And the NCAA provides planes for all these teams, and sometimes they gotta wait. Were you in that group in Utah? We got stuck in Salt Lake City for an extra 12 hours because we were waiting for the plane to come back and get LSU.
I was a one-day. I was doing shows, actually, the old Hard Rock in Las Vegas. I only went to Salt Lake City Saturday morning and went back to Vegas Sunday morning.
Okay, because we got caught. We were on the charter, and it was, we got it for you, but it's got to go to Syracuse first, and it's got to come all the way back to Salt Lake City. You guys got about 8 hours to kill here.
And how about I don't know, it's something with your Italian, your paisans, man. I mean, Colucci. So they put, they ship Patino with 6,500 miles from New York to San Diego, and you won. The most teams. What conference produced the most teams in this tournament? Well, that's the SEC. Who won the SEC tournament? Let's reward them. Let's send Calipari to Portland, Oregon. I mean, what are they doing? Huh?
Unbelievable. Yeah. It was very confusing, and especially the way they finished up the season. I was surprised that they shipped Arkansas right now.
You think the committee's ever watched Goodfellas? Huh? I mean, what's wrong with this?
Maybe casino. You could have the hammer and the money, or you can walk out of here. You could have the hammer and the money, or you can walk out of here.
I'll walk out. Don't forget to tell your friends.
That's right. Definitely. Charlie hit the nail on the head.
Can you give me a little tap on that hammer? Just a little tap? No. Okay. Oh well, man, Kaluch, you got any hockey picks in the middle of all this? I know we're flooded with the basketball, but
huge game tonight for my Montreal Canadiens, Jimmy. We got to get a win. Got to play a little better than they did against Boston the other night, but they want to stay within range of Tampa and Buffalo. Huge game. I like the Canadians. That's why you're only seeing a pick 'em basically on this game. 110 on each side. Definitely, I think they're going to come to play tonight. Vegas Golden Knights need a big win too. I mean, they're starting to come back to earth. See the Mammoths. They have 35 wins. Golden Knights only have 31. Good to have Mark Stone back, though. Buffalo took it to them the other night. Very rare to get shut out for the Vegas Golden Knights in the Fortress. Let's go with Vegas. I'm going Homer tonight, Montreal and Vegas.
Vegas minus 130 or so. Montreal right a pick minus 110. So very good. So you working all weekend? I'm sure, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was here at 7 a.m. this morning, a little earlier. Getting everything set up. Giveaways. We got the $350 sign-up bonus, $50 parlay. Get you a scratch-off card for some merch. You know how we do it at the resort at Summerlin, and the affiliation with Caesars. I can't ask for more.
I've stayed there. I can vouch for it. And, the guy running the sports book, he's pretty friendly, too. So he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Man, that's a – and did y'all redo the TVs, you said? Are they in the process?
Yeah, we do have now. We have a new odds board, and we could convert that into a video wall, so we have even more video options. We spread it out. We made it a lot more comfortable, some more comfortable seating in the center of the book. Move the carol for a little.
Okay. I'm thinking like on that Hyundai commercial. Okay, Colucci. Okay, Colucci. Moving on up. I see you. Very nice. Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookie Dwayne, not at Portland, Oregon, Bookie Dwayne, not at San Diego, California, Bookie Dwayne, at NY Bookie Dwayne. Kaluch, you're the best, man. Let's get some hockey winners. I hope you let's pull in some of these teams from March Madness. I know you'll have a good time. Thank you, buddy.
Love you guys. Thank you. And say hi to everybody in fabulous Baton Rouge.
Yes, indeed. Hey, man, we got to get him down. I mean, Kiffin's been damn king of enough parades. Can we put Colucci in the king of the parade, huh?
Let's bring him in for LSU, Alabama.
Shingleton line 1, huh? Put Colucci.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in for that game.
There we go. Got a nice crowd we're building over here. So come on by and see us. Put plenty of room. Game 2 is already up. So TCU is at the 6:08 stoppage right now. They're in a commercial break, 23-17. So under first half in TCU first half so far. And Troy, Nebraska, we talked about this one at length. 4-seed Nebraska, been great for most of the season, but coming in with hitting a couple of speed bumps. Troy is on top of them 9-6 early on at 15.5 to go in the first half.
One thing to monitor in that matchup, Nebraska is very good in perimeter defense, 7th in the country in three-point percentage defense, but Troy off to a great start, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. That's where they get a lot of their points, so they're going to look to keep cashing in from beyond the arc.
You on some kind of medicine today? I mean, your level is like 3 notches lower. I mean, you screaming? You hyped up? I mean,
he didn't
you
get any sleep. He's been doing
a holiday
steroids?
It's like a holiday today. Come on.
What do you mean like?
It is a holiday. You're right.
Come
That's
on,
fair.
man.
He was doing research all night.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine, do the great stuff. I had somebody look at doing some improvements at the house and said, well, you got those from Relief Windows, those RLS windows, you don't have to replace them anymore. There you go. Somebody who's does this for a living. So if you do have to replace those windows, get the Gelled Win wood frame windows that come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rotten termites. That's built with the R-Last wood. So they look great, they're built to last, and they had it propped open last night. Yesterday afternoon, watching some of the games with the nice weather that we have in this springtime. Relief Windows, 288-8138, and reliefwindows.com.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in Laplace and Plaquemine. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Get you an update on the first 2 games. TCU with a 4-point lead over Ohio State. Both teams shooting about 41% from the floor. The rebounding edge goes to the Horned Frogs so far. And they've hit twice as many three-pointers, so that accounts for the 4-point lead. The other game, Nebraska and Troy, is tied at 9. A little
Another
over 5
3 for the
minutes in.
Frogs.
Another 3 for the Frogs. 31-24. Troy and Nebraska, Max told you before we went to the break, Troy hits 3 of their first 4 from three-point range. The next game to start at 12:30 is that South Florida-Louisville game where the biggest public dog so far, South Florida, showing 3.5 here at DraftKings at Bally, South Florida, a 3.5-point underdog. Jimmy, what?
Mikael Brown, keep in mind, we talked about it was 4 games ago. Or 5 games ago, he played 20 minutes. He played the first half, did not play most of the end of the game. They lose by about 6 at Clemson. So he played 20 minutes in that game. He sat the last 2 regular season games, and he sat there 2 conference tournament. But he's out for the entire weekend. So it was South Florida they were getting a lot of steam already, and then the announcement that he is out. It's a very public dog.
At what point with public dogs do you start to say, okay, that's enough? Everybody in the world's on this underdog. Okay, that's enough. I'm going back the other way.
Oh, it doesn't take as much. No, I mean, I especially this week, I like to fade the public. I want to be on the people behind the counter. I want to be on their side, Charlie. I'm sorry. But it's not just taking all dogs. There is public, and our buddy Carl Johnson in our previous shows, he said, no, this is a reversal of what the rest of the year is. The public bets way more dogs this weekend, especially these 2 days, than they do the rest of the year.
Hour number 2, straight ahead here at the new Bally Sportsbook. Come on by. If you haven't been here yet, come on by. Perfect time to check it out here. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and WorkboxLLC.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no 2 situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, You can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And for years, we would, first day of March Madness, to try to find a sports bar with a couple of TVs, or try to set up an extra TV in your house. Man, we're so far past that. Come down to the beautiful new Bally Sportsbook and watch every game on the huge screens here with lots of great promotions, good food and drink. Enjoy this for all those guys that want to take the afternoon off, take the day off for March Madness. This is a place to come watch.
How long ago did they do the TNT, TBS, and True?
I think we're in year 12. Is what I think I read.
I mean that made it where you got just about every restaurant and cafe has for. But this is big screen. Oh, Charlie, we got them designed to one sight line, another 3 for TCU, 39-24 now. Ohio State will have the last possession of the first half here, but it's 65.5. It's on 63 the first half, so they need a 3 to put it over, but we'll see.
16 seconds and counting now. Troy with an early 13-12 lead, 11 minutes to go in the first half in that one. And Ohio State is probably not even going to get a shot off here from 3.
Well, they're shooting a 2.
I don't think he got it off.
Didn't get off. Max, who's your favorite pick in the early session?
Coming up here, I like Wisconsin. If we're talking about the first 4 games, it would be Wisconsin for sure. I think that High Point's getting overrated a little bit. The Wisconsin's 2.5 inches taller on average. I mean, that's quite a difference there, and you expect that sometimes with some of these things. But it's kind of strength on strength. The one thing to look for, Wisconsin does not turn the ball over on offense. High Point's very good. They're 5th in the country in defensive turnover percentage. So that's something they're going to look for. They're going to try to get turnovers, and I think Wisconsin's going to be able to control the game a little bit and keep the ball and not make those mistakes.
You have those, we're talking about those dreams or nightmares or tremors or whatever, where you're worried about that last class or something you haven't studied for or whatever in college. And I still have. Shout out to my fiction short story Professor Anthony Bartholomew. Offensive metamorphosis. Good, look it up, Charlie.
Offensive metamorphosis.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Metamorphosis, Franz Kafka. I got an A on that term paper. Go read it, Charlie. I'll explain it to you later.
I tell you what I looked at. I looked at High Point's record against Q1 teams. Didn't take long.
But I just can't believe.
And against Q2 teams, they didn't win any of those either.
The stylistic switch, complete overhaul stylistically from the same coach.
Yeah.
I mean, what sport can we think of that is just the other one, but he changed schools? Because when you coach at the Naval Academy, you're forced to, run that option-based offense. Ken Niumatalolo is at San Jose State. They air it out, Jack. Okay? But, I mean, that was a little bit sort of situational. Who doesn't run option-based at the military schools? Army, Navy, Air Force.
What about the same coach? What about the boss? Nick Saban changed his offense.
Yeah, but that's not his specialty. He changed. He changed.
When he brought Kiffin in, and they changed some things.
Well, Nussmeier was the one that first started it.
Nussmeier too. Yeah,
he was. Right. Yeah. So they it's but that's, and he talks about that a lot. But yes, he completely changed. I mean, the whole thing. He would sit on a lead like anybody, because
he said, "I can't win games 9-6 anymore." Well, I know he lost that game 9-6.
Guys
can't
like
win those games
guys
anymore.
in the college level like Nick Saban, guys in the pro level like Bill Belichick, guys in the high school level like JT Curtis. At one time, they'd much rather win a game 10-7. Much rather than 34-24.
Yeah, and
you know
you have to go learn something. You have to do something. You got to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And when they sent that, remember when they sent that consultant told us he had to get us out of our comfort zone. That meeting didn't go well, but it's hard, man. It's like I've done something that's worked for a long time. It's like now you got to do something different, and most people are like, screw you. I'm going to do it the way it's always worked.
Well, we've seen it with some of the old MLB guys like Mad Dog finally came around and said, well, you know what the bottom line, when you get these type of ratings, in March, baseball is the topic of the week kind of deal. Okay, they got something going.
Yeah,
they got something going. Now they strategically push, and they got Venezuela to play in Miami. They got Mexico to play in Houston. Okay, but it's still
play to your strengths. Play.
No.
Is.
Who doesn't like the atmospheres of those games?
Those are fun.
Who doesn't like?
They were a lot of fun.
I can still coach Roger Cato. Why these why all the middle infielders from Latin America? Because they dance, Jerome. they dance so much. Did you see him dancing with the players? Got some drums at the end.
Max, you did some numbers on the size disadvantage or size advantages in the first round. What did you come up with?
Yeah, some of them are pretty obvious. Wisconsin's bigger than High Point. Duke is 2.5 inches taller than Siena, a 16 seed. Sparty's taller than North Dakota State. One of the ones, if you're just kind of not watching a whole lot of college basketball, catching up, Hawaii is a tall team. They're actually taller than Arkansas. You wouldn't think an Arkansas team under Calipari would be outsized, but just they can match up physically. Hawaii can with Arkansas, but Arkansas is going to push the pace, and probably Hawaii switches on almost everything. That could be a problem for them.
Real quick on that game, Nick Pringle, Arkansas, one of their rotational guys, is listed as questionable today. They're already a little bit thin. Something else to keep an eye on with the Razorbacks today.
Yeah, and then, St. Mary's is actually 1.7 inches taller on average than Texas A&M. So that's a close matchup where St. Mary's has the size advantage. Obviously, they want to slow the game down. A&M wants to push the pace.
What's one of our favorite, and it's me and Randy McKay, on NFL handicapping? The recency bias fade, okay? Who is getting a lot of love in the SEC right now?
Arkansas.
Okay, there's no doubt. So I went back to check. The last TV timeout, 3 and change to go, it's a 2-point game Sunday. They shot 62.5% from 3 for the game, and it's a 2-point game. They give up, and I think Max, and I'm 100% because I've thought about this before, but you said that almost like Alabama Light, giving up so many easy baskets. They do. They kind of keep teams hanging around more than they should. When you got a guy like Acuff and they got some of the, I like their upside, but man, that's a little bit too much love for a team. I'm going to give a little credit for Vandy for being that close against that caliber team, that point guard, and a team that shot 62.5%. Man, they're right there. They're doing a lot of other things. They're beating them at a lot of ways. So I'm looking at Vandy a little love and Arkansas. I still think it's hard to find a team below the 4 seeds, below the 2 seeds that can make a run, and I think Arkansas is one of them. But the lines they're just a little out of whack for me.
Well, since you brought up Vandy, McNeese, on Louisiana team in the tournament,
they're kind of getting some love too, huh?
Lines at 12.5 right now.
McNeese. Familiarity with McNeese.
Wasn't that at 10.5 for a little bit? That McNeese Vandy line?
I'll see what it opened at. I feel like they've been a popular
I felt like it was
12
10.5 last night.
That game's a little over 2 hours away from tip. It's 2:15 tip.
I'll tell you this. That McNeese Stephen F. Austin final, it wasn't even close to McNeese State. They played so much better than any game they played all year. I mean, they were really, I mean, that was supposed to be a rugged game. These teams know each other. Stephen F. Austin won the regular season title. They're playing in Lake Charles, but still, I mean, they blew Stephen F. Austin out.
That line's been pretty consistent. It's been 11.5 or 12.5.
11.5 or
pretty much
12.5.
since it opened. One thing to look there, strength on strength, Vanderbilt, top 20 in the country in both offensive turnover and block percentage. They do not turn the ball over. They do not get blocked around the rim. McNeese very good at both of those statistics defensively. Top 10 in terms of forcing turnovers and creating blocks.
It's not a huge percentage, but here at Bally's and in other DraftKings sportsbooks around the country, 54% of the tickets are McNeese State. I mean, not a huge percentage, but some dogs. And you'll see that again. It's the majority of the games. The percentage of tickets against the spread, not the money lines, are on the underdogs.
Let me throw another popular theory out there that one of the 11s that wins in the first 4, take them in the second game, the rest versus Russ. Texas against BYU today, coming off the win Tuesday night.
I always take them because
you take both of them.
Yes, I always take those 11 seeds that have won. The worst I've ever done is split. Sometimes you'll get a sweep, and I think Texas applies. I love Sean Miller's comments after the game. He said, "Look, man, come from the SEC. Ole Miss and Oklahoma are playing at a level they could easily go in the second weekend in this tournament. They just got hot too late, and they're not a part of it. I mean, and we know them. We rode them to a 7-0 cover, an ATS record in the conference tournament." I thought that NC State threw up some sort of desperation threes at the end and hit them all to kind of make it very, very tight. But, yeah, and at some point BYU with Saunders is a big blow. We love DeBonsa, but some people are going to bet DeBonsa regardless. I'm taking Texas, and I'm taking that 12.5 or 11.5 with Miami, Ohio as well.
One of my favorite plays there, Charlie, Texas. When you look at them, since February 1st, these are equal teams. Bartorovic, BYU, 45th ranked. Texas is 48th. So they're even. And then Texas, a much more experienced team. Obviously, they're coming off the game as well. But over a year, on average, more experience than this BYU roster.
That game is at 6:25 in Portland today. Is a 2.5-point spread. BYU is the favorite in that one.
All right. So don't forget our friends over here at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. At United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business. From initial startup loans all the way to ongoing planning and assessments, United Community Bank is here for you. My buddy Prentice Wilkes and his great team of bankers, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
TCU with a 15-point lead. That game is at the half
Yay.
over Ohio State. 7 minutes to go and change in the first half. Nebraska leads Troy 23-17, and we're about 20 minutes away from the tip of South Florida and Louisville. Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Port. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at ThibodeauStore.com.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. Couple of great spots. Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Port Store, now open in La Rose and Lockport. What do we hate? We hate dirty crawfish. Get your crawfish washers right now at all locations of the Thibodeau Store, the reds, the purples, and the blues. Get those crawfish. Crawfish is so plentiful right now. Make sure you get those things washed. Nothing Jimmy
Clean those damn things, man. They're called mud bugs. Where'd it come from? The mud. Man, you ever eat the crawfish? It tastes like grit.
Yeah, it ruins the whole experience for you.
Yeah, it's got a little bit. A little bit. You know,
get your crawfish washers. Also, right now, as you get your property in shape here into we're tomorrow, first day of spring, March the 20th. Tomorrow,
Huskers heating up.
They're up 11. Save big on your lawn and garden tools right now. TheThibodeauStore.com. Same day pickup on everything on the website. So your garden tools, your potting saws, your spreaders, your seeders, your outdoor power equipment, all of that available. You get to all four sites from the one website at TheThibodeauStore.com. Open until 5:30 at 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. So whether you're washing crawfish, you're doing some gardening, doing some yard work, get over to the Thibodeau Store, and a whole lot more. Do-it-yourselfers, get those home projects, save some time, save some money when you ask the experts at the Thibodeau Store. And again, online, it's TheThibodeauStore.com.
Where's the Nebraska game?
The Nebraska game is being...
They got a crowd there, man.
Is being played in...
I hate that it can't even put the damn town.
Yeah, I don't like that
brutal.
either. Gosh, where is the South region? It took it off my. It's almost like they want to hide it from you.
Charlie, put you
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Not a bad.
Oh no, that's easy peasy. Oh yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Jimmy. I was like, damn, they're showing the crowd shots, and it is a lot of red.
Yeah,
a lot of Nebraska red.
Yeah. Looking to make history, man. Looking for the first ever NCAA tournament win.
Are they the only power team? Is that hasn't won one?
Yes.
They're the only one that's left. A few more games that we look at down the card here tonight. St. Louis and Georgia. There's an 8 versus 9. Dogs are a 2.5-point favorite there. At one point, St. Louis was 24-1. They're 4-4 in their last 8. Josh Schertz, the coach there, is a hot name in the middle of the season, and I suspect at the end of the year when St. Louis is eliminated, whenever that is, he'll be a hot name again. He's won at multiple places. But, Jimmy, they at 24-1, they were as hot as anybody in the country. They cooled off. I've seen a few of these teams cool off down the stretch. St. Louis was one of those.
Very much so. Very much so. I mean, again, you wonder about them. I mean, just did they peak a little early, or are they just not that good? I mean, I'm wondering about them. They really struggled coming down the stretch, no doubt. And one of the games they won, they were down like 9 at half to VCU. That's all. VCU comes in, wins 16 of 17. I mean, that's the only loss they had. That was a Friday night game. But yeah, and Georgia loves to get up and down. So Georgia's going to have a big advantage athlete-wise. They love the pace. That's another coach that is. Mike White was not at Tech or Florida. He wasn't known as a big, super pace guy. They are, and I mean, I don't know. I think they might have a chance to kind of wear St. Louis down.
There'll be a lot of eyeballs on that game, I think, because in the late window you've got 3 games where the spread is 20 or more, 3 games that are expected to be blowouts, and that one. So if the chalk holds in the late window, and that's the window that starts at 8:25 tonight, then you might have a lot of eyes on that game between St. Louis and Georgia. 32-19, Nebraska. Troy trying to hang in there as a first half dog. That was one of the plays that we put out yesterday with Randy McKay. Another one that he had, McNeese.
He had Troy.
6. He had Troy in the first half +7, and McNeese +6. That game coming up at 2:15, I believe. Yeah, 2:15 there. And North Dakota State at 3:05 was another one of their first half plays. That's +9.5 when he gave it out there. So about come out of half, TCU and Ohio State.
That's right. He's got McNeese in the first half. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
McNeese there.
The only favorite he put out yesterday was St. John's.
St. John's.
Yep.
I'm just looking. I'm looking down. Looking down my list here.
Yeah, he gave out North Dakota State, McNeese State, Troy, High Point. Got High Point, huh? I don't know about that.
High Point in the first half.
Right, Hawaii, Akron, Hofstra, and St. John's.
+5.5. Max, get us up to date on what's going on with the golf while we got a little bit of a lull in the basketball action here.
Yeah, a very strange leaderboard, to be honest. Right now, Sung J M is 9 under through 14, and they've got quite a gap between him and the field.
I know that's good.
9 under through 14 is very good. He has not been playing all that great, coming off an injury, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. Missed the cut last week at the Players, so interesting to see him up on the leaderboard. He's probably going to end up being the first-round leader, and I say that, and it's actually 7 under through 17, so I'm a little delayed here. But 7 under through 17, he just bogeyed the 17th, or his 17th hole today, the 8th hole. So he has a one-shot lead now over Brant Snedeker, who is quite older. He is the President's Cup captain, I believe, this year. So that I don't expect to be sustainable long-term. And then Davis Thompson, who hasn't been playing the best golf either, he is 5 under par. So some interesting names in the top 3 right now at the Valspar. Our consensus picks, our 2 consensus picks were Sahith Theegala and David Ford. They go off later this afternoon.
Bombs away, David Ford.
140 to 1.
Golly.
You could probably get a better price
now. That's my street address growing up. 140 Cottonwood. My gosh. Huh?
We got
bombs away.
We got the golf up. We got the 4 basketball thing. We'll have LSU baseball here tonight on one of the TVs. They play Oklahoma Thursday, Friday, Saturday series at the box. Former Tiger Cam
Johnson. On SEC Network?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to be going for Oklahoma. Former Tiger, hard throwing left-hander, sometimes has problems with his control, and we'll see if LSU can hopefully bounce back from what's been a rough 2.5 weeks here. They did get the win on Sunday against Vanderbilt.
Oklahoma got blanked earlier this week by
Southeastern beat them.
In Hammond. Interesting
they
road
did.
trip there.
Yesterday, huh?
I believe that was Tuesday.
Oklahoma went to Hammond yesterday,
Oklahoma went
or
to Hammond, I think that was Tuesday.
Yeah. Days are running together this week. Yeah.
Well, that's only gonna increase here in the next few days.
Spring break, Charlie.
TCU and Ohio State now starting in the second half. This was a 2.5 point spread, and TCU kind of got away from it in the last 4 minutes.
Well, this one, if you got,
half.
it's just a classic case. If we got TCU on this one, you had as much as a 13-point middle. Plus plus 2.5 to start the game, plus 10.5 started. I really like these middles in this week and last week because these teams favored are not. Are behind, are not quitting. So you see a little bit some comebacks from time to time. I will say though, if you're looking to jump again, it seems like when one team makes a run, it's almost like, and they call a timeout, the other team kind of responds. So it's kind of a little bit of a back and forth, but a lot of comebacks in March Madness. And we also see teams playing aggressively to one point, and then they get that protect the lead type of approach. It's not like exactly sitting at the ball. The 30-second shot clock only allows you to slow it down so much, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, Ohio State with the first 2 buckets of the second half, just to kind of illustrate the point here, going in down 15 against Jamie Dixon's crew.
Man, both teams have been really hot. Ohio State lost. Won 4 of 5 coming in, and their loss was who they lose to in the tournament. It was a good game. They covered?
Michigan?
That's for sure. And TCU's won like 8 of 9 coming in to this. So those were 2 teams that were on the bubble at one point about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Those are 2 teams that actually finished stronger, where so many teams have just caved, down the stretch.
They lost to Michigan by 4.
Yeah,
in the tournament. It was a very competitive, very competitive game. Jamie Dixon, we've been following his career for a while. No stranger
took over a great situation at Pitt, made it better, and he just went to he's a TCU alum. It was a huge get for them.
No stranger to tournament basketball.
They weren't even in the Big 12 when they got him, right?
I think. Well, he took over for Trent Johnson, which would have been about. Yeah, I think they were. Johnson left here in 12. He took over for him after that. It would have been about. Yeah, I think they were. Off the top of my head, I think that they were.
Let me see here what TCU finished again. I'll get it straight here. So
you look for. They won.
They won
6 of their last 7.
Yep. 9 of their last 11.
Yeah.
9 of their last 11. They lost to Kansas by 5, and they lost at Central Florida. 9 of 11. So they definitely before that streak they were not even in. They weren't even on. They were on the wrong side of the bubble.
Extremely physical start to the second half in this game. A lot of contact around the basket. No calls so far. We just had a 3-point attempt. It seems like the first one at the second half.
So Ohio State, trying to bully them around a little bit to try and get back in this one. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. My buddy Lucas Ragusa at Total Maintenance Service today. I mean, look, right now you're not really thinking about. The AC not working. I mean, what about this weather today? But Total Maintenance is one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, Lucas has worked in the operation from every step of the way. I mean, every step of the way. So he knows what it takes to put a good team together. AC heating, generator installations, maintenance, service today, every day is same-day service. You will never sleep hot. You call today, you get service today. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem products. Generators, we're authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings units. We cover both the Baton Rouge and New Orleans areas, but we don't overlap. We don't compromise each other. We've got a completely different staff. A completely different office for both Baton Rouge and New Orleans separately. Something breaks down with the unit, give them a call, 480-1000, 480-1000. And last call, basically, to try and get those maximum discounts, those maximum rebates on a new system. If your system is over 10 years old, it was serviced last year, let a technician come out, and we will tell you exactly what your options are. So, right, if you're going to replace it, now's the time to do it. But it's last call before it gets hot to get some of those great rebates, up to $5,500 off some of the discounts on certain units. Total maintenance, 480-1000.
Live at Bally Sportsbook, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. An authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummings generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, 2 local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports, and it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions, just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045 for a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, the chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go out to Las Vegas, talk to Matt Humans as we do each and every week at this time. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Well, it's good news, bad news so far. I've got TCU plus 2.5, but I also have Troy. So not looking good for the Trojans here at halftime, but the Horned Frogs got their great start.
Great minds think alike. We are on the same teams there. There's no doubt about that. Who'd you have last night, the Miami SMU game? And what's your theory to why the Miami Ohio looks so sharp? Because that's not the same team we watched struggle for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Oh, I thought it was pretty easy to explain that. I talked about that before Sunday night, actually before the game. I thought Miami was going to play loose. They were playing with a lot of pressure at the end of the regular season. And losing the game was actually a good thing for them, especially since they were able to sneak into the tournament. But when you lose a game, all that pressure is off and you play loose. It was kind of a pseudo-home game in Dayton right down the road. And as I said Sunday night, and I've said repeatedly after, how the hell did SMU even get into the tournament? I don't know how SMU was even in the 68 field. And then somebody responded to that by saying, well, SMU's an 8-point favorite over Miami. I said, I understand that, so you can make an argument that Miami should not be in the tournament, but that also doesn't mean that SMU's going to win the game and deserves to be an 8-point favorite. Look, Mustangs went 1-5 in their last 6. I know they had injuries, but they went to the ACC tournament. The ACC tournament is like a 10 or 11 seed. I don't know how that team got into the field. But anyway, I was on Miami last night, and it was nice to see the Red Hawks throw on that 3-point shooting display. That was pretty cool.
Weakest bubble I can ever remember, Matt. I mean, that's why. I mean, last week in the regular season, the bubble teams go 0-9. The conference tournaments, they start out 0-5. I mean, a normal year, they're out. I mean, it was we laughed. I mean, it was like 3 weeks left in the season. LSU is on to their dead last by sole possession, and they also considering when they're breaking down the bracketology and
Same
stuff.
people that didn't look at a non-conference schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's so. But yeah, no, I said the same thing. I mean, this Latino is obviously that was the pressure they were, because they were getting. I mean, it was about when there was 3 undefeated teams left. They started getting some run, started getting some love. Then it was 2. Then it was 1 when Arizona lost. And yes, it was a lot of weight off their shoulders. I'm not a fan of the coach too much, but damn, that ball movement and spacing, I mean, is impressive. I mean, they were a clean looking team last night.
Why are you not a fan of Travis Field, the coach?
I think there's certain coaches, their players will never flip off the opposing fans like they did at Ohio. He says that he couldn't schedule a non-conference. No, yeah, you can. You might have to go to play at their place, but I mean, just a lot of BS personally. But I respect him. That team's well coached. I mean, they were. Yeah. Remind me of BYU before they got DeBonsa when they went so much ISO. Really great ball movement and spacing.
Yeah, I like the way his team plays quite a bit. I agree with you on that BS comment he made about teams would not schedule Miami. There's plenty of teams who would have scheduled Miami. And but Purdue played Kent and Kent State and Akron. I think Michigan State played Toledo. They're Big Ten teams who play MAC teams every year. You tell me there's a bunch of Big Ten teams who are, oh, no, we're afraid to play Miami and Ohio. There's no way. So I think he was lying or just full of you-know-what about that comment, so I agree with you. I didn't like the way Miami players, were taunting the crowd and stuff like that either. That was classless. But he's obviously very good X's and O's coach.
What's your boy, my boy, too? I love, ran into him in Vegas twice. Your boy, Gene Cady. What would he do with his players flipping off the opposing crowd? How would he handle that?
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about it. That would have never happened.
It just won't happen.
Yeah.
That's my part. It just won't happen. And look, when Brad Stevens era with Butler, yeah, some teams are dodging him. Okay, all right, I get that. I mean,
nobody's going to go there, but you make a point. If you want to travel a little bit, you can play some people.
There's all kinds of Big Ten teams within a driving distance. It's a line I mean, talk to people who don't follow the game. So, Matt, we're on the same page. We should go 63-0 against the spread. Who we got today?
Well, it's going to be 62-1 because Troy's not looking good.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Oh, you got to give up. That's the only chance you got.
Explain your mindset. I love this. You like this, Charlie. Go ahead.
It's kind of the reverse jinx mindset. I said the moment you give up, great things can happen. That's opposite of the Jimmy B speech. If you sit there for 3 hours hoping your team can come back, you just sit there and watch the game hoping you can. It's never going to happen.
So when Matt,
you got to give up on the game.
Yeah.
You have to give up on the game and stop watching it, and then check in later, and your team can make a comeback.
It's
anyway,
it's an expectation approach.
Huh?
Hope. When Matt Humans is sweating games, it's a 4-letter word. I mean, don't bring up hope. So
he makes a point because I had my thumb on the remote control last night with a minute and a half to go down 17, and before I could click it, Navy hit a 3. And then they got a steal, and then they got a bucket, then they got another steal, another bucket.
No, down 14, they empty the bench. No, that's the wrong team's emptying the bench.
Both of them emptied the bench.
And the guy, they can't even penetrate these guys, and he throws one kind of over his head, and it goes nothing but net, and then they get a steal, and of course, Wake dribbles it out. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was a beautiful, hopeless situation, Matt. I'm with you.
Yes. Who we got today, Matt?
That's great that you brought that up because I was on Navy last night too, and I completely gave up on the game, stopped watching it, and I just saw the score, final score an hour later. I was like, hell yeah, how did that happen? And but that was nice.
Go back and watch the last 2 minutes. You were charmed. We were charmed.
I didn't know how it happened. I'm just glad it happened that way. Ohio State's trying to make a bit of a comeback here. So I've got South Florida +5. That game just tipped off. Let's see other games today. I played Georgia -2 over St. Louis. This could be the highest scoring game of the first round. I did not play the over, though. But you look at the Bulldogs with Jeremiah Wilkinson, Blue Cannon Catchings. I think you got too many athletes for the Billikens who really slipped down the stretch and went 4-4 in the last 8 games. Now, St. Louis is an outstanding three-point shooting team. I think the best in the tournament at slightly over 40%. Robbie Avila, known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, is probably going to get his points in this game today, but I like Georgia in a high-scoring shootout. I played VCU over North Carolina. I don't love this play. But the Rams are 16-1 in their last 17. That one loss came at St. Louis in the middle of February. I just think this Tar Heels team is soft. The more I watch them, and their ceiling is low to me without Caleb Wilson, who's injured and done. He's their leading scorer. I don't like the Carolina team much without Caleb Wilson. Also, I got one more for you today. Ended up taking Hawaii plus 15.5 against Arkansas. Also played Hawaii in the first half. So I think there's got to be a bit of a hangover effect for some of these teams that win the major conference, or Power 4, let's call it Power 5 of the Big East tournaments. And Arkansas put a lot into winning that SEC tournament in Nashville. And probably spent a couple days celebrating, getting patted on the back, telling how great they are. And then now they got to travel to Portland to play a well-coached Hawaii team that's really disciplined defensively. And it's got to start a big lineup. Hawaii goes 7 foot, 6'9", 6'8", 6'6", 6'3" in their starting lineup. And they got a 7-footer in Isaac Big Fish Johnson who can play. A 6'6" senior guard in Dre Bullock, who's a dynamic athlete. Probably hang with Darius Acuff a little bit in this game. I'm not saying that Hawaii can hang around for 40 minutes, but I think they can hang around within this big number. And I played them first half in the game.
TCU down 15 at half. I'm sorry, Ohio State down 15 at half. Has it down to 3. 43-40. TCU 12-15 mark in the second half. I'll add on to you, Arkansas. You know, Max and I were talking. We talked about Alabama because we know they've had so much firepower and their style of play. They're going to be a high-scoring team. Arkansas is a little bit of that light. I mean, they shot 62.5% from 3 for the game against Vandy Sunday. In the last media timeout, Matt, it's a 2-point game with 3 and change to go. I mean, so they keep teams hanging around a little bit. We'll even go, it's more of an NFL angle, but the recency bias, I mean, they're just getting everybody's in love with Arkansas. And listen, Acuff is the real deal. We've been singing his praises for, most of the season this year. Love his game. But, yeah, I'm almost on an Arkansas fade a little bit with some of these inflated numbers and some of that love. They don't put away teams. They don't have that like Florida. Florida, if they're up on you 15, they're looking to go up 30. Arkansas will keep teams hanging around a little bit more.
Purdue's one of those teams, too. I've watched Purdue so much. You talk about a team that gets up and then lets off the gas and lets the opponent back in the game. That happens a lot. Huh?
I'm glad you brought them up because it took me about a half, because I love Northwestern. It was two teams going in opposite directions, entering the Big Ten tournament. And where the hell did this defensive intensity come from? I mean, they are. I mean, where did that come from, Matt? I mean, they were like, okay, this is a different team. Now I reversed. I mean, I backed them every step of the way, and they were a sharp play on Sunday as well against Michigan and won handily. That can't continue now in the NCAA tournament, can it?
Well, somebody brought up a pretty good theory talked about last week. Purdue starts 4 seniors, and that once their goal of winning the Big Ten was blown, that those guys really didn't give a damn about the rest of the regular season. And if you watched them, they kind of played like it. Played like they didn't care.
Okay.
Like you just said, where's that team been? I remember Rob Doster at the field was 68 last week saying he was at the first Michigan-Purdue game in West Lafayette, and then he was at the Big Ten tournament game, and he said, what the hell? He said, that was 2 totally different teams I was watching. Well, that's true, but I think when you watch Purdue in the Big Ten tournament, you can see right away that defense is all about attitude and effort. And they brought it. They brought the attitude and the effort and a totally different mindset to the Big Ten tournament. It's like they flipped that proverbial switch. This is a new season, and they played like they really cared and that their legacy was on the line. So I do think it's a different team there in the way they played because their defense was a disaster at the end of the regular season for like last month. But it was outstanding in the Big Ten tournament in Chicago. They did make a couple of adjustments, I can tell, with their defensive schemes, but it's more about effort. Defense. If you're going to defend, that's a mindset, and they played like a totally different team up there.
And we talked about it last week. There was some value on some teams opposite brackets against those 1 seeds last week in the conference tournaments. Being subject to a little bit of indifference. 2-1 and 2 lost to opposite bracket teams. And of course, I didn't have Purdue. I had Arkansas, but I didn't have Purdue because I thought they were dead. So I had Michigan State in that one. Have you looked at tomorrow's card much?
Of course.
Okay.
We got the Circuit College Hoops Challenge contest going on at BCN, and each handicapper had to put in 15 plays, 15 best bets essentially for the Thursday and Friday games. So I've got plays all over the board. I had a list of 22 plays, whittled it down to 15. I ended up dropping all the totals because of, I think totals are a bit random when you get to the tournament. And the problem is I like to play unders. And then you'll get some of these games in the last 2 minutes where you might have 20 points because of all the fouling and, the foul down to the bitter end.
Right.
I think it's a little bit more random on the results. I played Hofstra against Alabama tomorrow. It's obvious what the Aiden Holloway situation has done here. And, not only do you lose one of your best players, 16.8 points, 44% from 3. It's also a distraction for that team. And Speedy Claxton's Hofstra team shoots 74% from the free throw line, 37% from 3. Cruz Davis, a junior guard, averages 20 a game, shoots 40% from 3. I think he can take advantage of Holloway's absence right there. So that Hofstra team, 11-1 in the last 12 games. 1 road games at Pitt and Syracuse in December. I like Hofstra's chances to hang within that big number. What's up?
Okay. Who else tomorrow?
I played Iowa as a 2-point favorite over Clemson.
Okay.
Big Ten teams were 8-0 ATS in the first round last year. It looks like that's not going to happen unless Ohio State makes a big rally here. But I don't think this is one of Brad Brownell's best Clemson teams. And I like Bennett Sturtz, senior guard for the Hawkeyes, who can take over the game. Again, a lot of times you want to look at free throw shooting, and these games are going to be tight. Iowa shoots 77% from the free throw line, and they will defend. And Bennett Sturtz and the Hawkeyes, I think, can dictate the tempo of that game. Let's see, I played Missouri +2 over Miami, bit of a coin flip game there. But again, Miami is a poor free throw shooting team, 68% from the line. And the Tigers have that edge of playing close to home in St. Louis. And Mark Mitchell was really hot at the end of the regular season, actually scored 32 points in each of those last two games against Arkansas and Kentucky. Northern Iowa, this is what I really like. I actually played my first two bets, actually Troy plus 14 and Northern Iowa plus 11.5. Again, a hangover effect for St. John's.
Yeah.
That Big East Tournament championship game against UConn was, their so-called Super Bowl. They wanted that game so bad after they got beat down by UConn in the previous meeting. And now they have to fly cross country to San Diego and face a nightmare opponent. I'm sure nobody wanted to draw Northern Iowa in this bracket. They win the Missouri Valley. They played a slow pace. They defend. They're going to dictate the way this game is played. And St. John's can play that style. So that just means it's probably going to be a closer, low-scoring type game. Yep. Northern Iowa ranks 24th in defensive efficiency and 363 out of 365 teams in tempo. So you turn that into a grinder, you reduce possessions, you shorten the game. That helps the double-digit underdog hang around. And I'll tell you a couple others I played. I don't love this one, but I played Santa Clara plus 3.5 against Kentucky.
Guys, we need a break.
And I was hoping to get more points with Santa Clara. That seems like a little bit too popular of an underdog.
Good stuff, Matt.
And,
who else?
Are we out of time here?
Yeah, we're out of time.
Also played Utah State. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't realize we're out of time.
Good luck, brother. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. Great stuff. Live at lunch, live here from Bally's in the DraftKings Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential.
I'm going to do that.
You want to redo it?
Yeah.
More fresh?
Yeah.
It's rolling.
Join us for day 2 of the NCAA basketball tournament from Bally Sportsbook in downtown Baton Rouge. 32 in the books. 32. No, that's not right. Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch. We're at Bally Sportsbook downtown Baton Rouge for day 2 of the NCAA basketball tournament. 16 games in the books from day 1. 16 more on Friday. Join us at 11 a.m. Live at Lunch from Bally's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. So future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at Supreme Rice.
Hey, you know what? Sammy's Grill.
Let me do it again. Let me mention the promotions. Let me do it again.
It's rolling.
Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Bally Sportsbook in downtown Baton Rouge. Day 1 of the NCAA basketball tournament is in the books, but day 2 gives you a chance to win up to $25,000. No, damn it. Let me try it again. Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Bally Sportsbook downtown Baton Rouge. Day 1 of the NCAA tournament's in the books, but your chance to win a part of $25,000 in free play still available here on day 2. Bally's Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Friday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Name and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter. A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless. Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony is taking it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, the early games. TCU was up 15 at the half. Ohio State has cut that lead to 3 with 8 minutes to go in regulation. Let's see what else we got. Louisville leads South Florida 22-11. That game's got about 8 minutes to go in the first half. Nebraska leads Troy 41-25. That is at the half. And Wisconsin and High Point are underway. Wisconsin out to a touchdown lead, 10-3 here, as they're not yet to the first media timeout in what figures to be a high-scoring game. Listen, we're going to be here again at Bally's tomorrow for the show. The rare Friday that we're not at Rufino's, but we will be here tomorrow. They've got all kinds of promotions going on here, as you can win up to your portion of $25,000, over $25,000 in free play. Come on down here to Bally's. Experience the new Sportsbook. If you haven't been here yet since they opened in December, it's a perfect time to come on out and experience the new facility.
Wide awake.
Great sight lines for the big screens. Every game is on, plus LSU baseball tonight, plus the golf. Your chance to win up to a portion of $25,000 in free play. For Jimmy Ott, for Max Gautreaux, for Jordan Kinchins back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Enjoy the hoops and stay tuned for Hunt Palmer, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1980.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.